Assalamu alaikum, a very good evening and welcome to iON Business. Today we'd like to talk to you regards to a second effect of the coronavirus, what implication it could have on businesses and the public in whole. I have two of our very well-known businessmen, community activists with me tonight. I have Mr. Tufajjal Mia, Secretary General of BBCA. I have Mr. Wazid Hussain, aka Mr. Salim Bhai, from CEO Pride of Asia. These two members of the community is very well known. If you do have any question for my panel this evening, please do call the number with any question that you'd like them to clarify or advise on. Please do come back to me. Assalamu alaikum, gentlemen. Good to have you on the show. So I have Mr. Tufajjal Mia on my right, and the following right I have Wazid Hussain Salim Bhai from Pride of Asia. Very good evening to you, gentlemen. Welcome to the program.
Assalamu alaikum. What a pleasure to be here with iON.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, today what we'd like to discuss, and I would like our community to know a little bit, we are a little bit, I think, in terms of the community, we're a little bit behind on how important it is for businesses and personally as in whole with this COVID-19. Okay, first I would like to ask both of you the question on the effect what it could have on businesses if the spike, if we go on a lockdown again. The chances are greater as the numbers has gone up in the last 3 days, over 3,000 in the UK, where our neighbors in France, they have 10,000 cases in the last 24 hours.
Then Spain had more.
Absolutely. So what do you think we could come to another standstill in business in the UK, and what implication, so shall we start off with Tawajjal, by what implication it could have on businesses itself?
Well, look, first thing is, that's the last thing in our mind, it should be. Now, the important thing is, what I'll say is we follow the guideline. Yes, the R number is gone up. It's more than first time since the lockdown. First time it's gone 1+, which means 10 people with the virus is affecting another 10+ people, and which is very serious. Hence, the new guideline is in place from tomorrow. For our restaurant, I can only go from my experience. For our restaurant, the immediate change, the guideline from tomorrow is not going to affect us much. However, the only change is you cannot have more than six people per table. So you can have larger groups, but you can't sit them in one table. And it has to be no more than 2 households. These were the guidelines before, but the numbers were, if it was from 2 households and you had a table for 20, you could serve them. But now, even from 2 households, you can only serve 6. But going forward, when it comes to Christmas, November, December, we are going to face a difficult time if this guideline remains, because we rely on Christmas bookings.
Absolutely. How would you police that in terms of prior Christmas booking, where you have 5
exactly.
different
This is what I'm
households?
coming at, really. This is a very, very uncertain the information and the guideline. We don't know how long this new guideline will be, A. B, do we take the bookings or we don't? However, there is a way out as well. If you have, for example, a booking for 30, and if it's from workplace, you're allowed to take them. If it's from a workplace, I repeat that again, if it's from the office or any working group, we're allowed to take the booking. And we can, as long as you can isolate them. So you got 30, and if you can isolate, if you can provide the isolation in your restaurant, say for example, if you have 2 sections, you put them in one section, and the other section you can serve your normal 2s, 4s, and 6, whatever. But they cannot mix up. And it's very important that we adhere that. Now, what I'm going to add to this is about our community. Going forward, I think, look, we have 2-3 downfalls. And not all. I think our young generation has to take this serious. And I'm telling you why. Because the virus has spreaded to the young generation more than ever since the lockdown, COVID-19 started. So this is a very serious thing. And the mortality rate for the young people is more than ever before, more than since the COVID-19. So young generation should take a special care. And another thing, in our community, Amra Musulman, Amra Bangali, Amra Dada, Dadi, Nana, Nani, this
is why I like to call it Salim Bhai, because of what he does, Amra community day, the Amra big gathering, the big family, the 3-generation householder maze, Dada son, Nania son, the 3 generation. Afne really also afne to specialized in our community.
In big gathering.
Yes, big gathering, and especially Amra community maze, Amra Bengali community maze. I mean, it a hemon effect hoibo. And especially last 3 months, 4 months, hemon effect we say in terms of businesses. Afne zela khoroid. Yes, I understand the restaurant sector, but restaurant sector to open up is afnar zela befsha. Big gathering 500, 1,000, 1,500.
By pandemic to I say, Rabbul Alamin Allahর কাছে না আইছে বন্দায় কিছু করার নাই কিন্তু আমরা গভর্নমেন্টে আমরা যে ইনফরমেশনগুলো দেয় ইজ অলওয়েজ মিশম্যাশ ক্লিয়ার কোনো ইনফরমেশন নাই একটু আগে তো ফুজুল ভাই কইছেন যে কাস্টমার 6 জন আইতা ইচ হাউসহোল্ড নো মোর দেন 2 পিপল আবার ওয়ার্ক প্লেস তো আইলে দে ক্যান হ্যাভ মোর হাউ উই গোইং টু ডিফাইন that workforce
is not 6 household.
No, the household people are coming. So this is information is mishmash. They consider about cinema hall, they consider about football, they consider about everything. But they don't consider about Asian wedding. Because they think wedding, 30 people more than enough. Because what happened, their weddings only happen for 20, 30 people. That's how they think in it. So we have all our Bangladeshi, some of our Indian caterer together. We got together. We wrote to Parliament. We wrote to our MPs. Nothing happened. MP did come back to us and says, yes, he's going to go to Parliament. We are talking about it. We are thinking about yours. So 30 people is not realistic.
No.
Our Asian family, the Tafna questions in Bengali, are big. 2-3 family এখানে হইলে আমরা 30 জন হয়ে যাই 4 জন আমরা এভারেজ বাঙালি family members. So that's not working. আমার তো function I'm doing it, but 30 people 40 people it is মাইশর
2-3 family
50 মিটার না একটা ফাংশন করিয়া. So lot of people are deprived unfortunately for abiatta puribatta যাদের গার্ডেন or যাদের সিটি no horra, but খুবই upset. I was talking to a brother the other day. I said, lucky you saving money. He goes, forget money, bro. I was hoping for my son's wedding so much. I had a dream about it. I wanted to do it well, do it this, do that.
The big Greek wedding.
I couldn't do it. Now, I won't say big Greek wedding.
Big Bengali wedding.
Big Bengali wedding.
Big Bengali wedding.
So same with another bride's father. Everybody's got that feeling because যেভাবে আমরা ছেলে মেয়েরে মানুষ করা হয় লেখাপড়ানির পরে আমরা বাংলাদেশি মানুষের একটা হোপ থাকে যে আমার বাচ্চার একটা সুন্দর ওয়েডিং করাইতাম বিয়া করাইতাম
খালি তো ইকাল নাই
আমরা বাচ্চা পারম না করাইতাম
আমরা কমিউনিটির মাঝে ইউ ক্যান লেট আউট সার্টেন পিপল অফ দ্য ফ্যামিলিজ আপনি কজন মিস আউট করবা ইটস বিকামস এন ইমপ্লিকেশন
মিস আউট না ওখানে যেখানে আইছে যে it's sad I lost out or every other wedding business people lost out in business, but I'm happy some people what they done they just moving on, they just doing the wedding instead of 500 600 they do like 2 family together 3 family together. A lot of people you and I know they did it function in their garden 30 people 40 people, so at least the family start. কারণ আমরা যে একটা বাচ্চা দাদা দাদির কাছে শুনি আইছি যে মোরাইজিতা একদিন দেখা হয় ওয়ার ইজ মোরাইজিতাই দেখা হয় আমি যখন ছোটো ছিলাম চিন্তা করতাম মোরাইজিতা কোনটা মোরা তো মই তাত গেলে এটা মোরা দেখা হইলো জিতা কোনটা এখন বিজনেস হলে আমি দেখলাম যে জিতা তো যেদিন বিয়া হয় ওদিন থেকে জিতাটা আরম্ভ হয়ে গেল দুইজন মানুষের রিলেশনশিপ আরম্ভ হইলো দ্যাটস মিন জীবন আরম্ভ হইলো সো ওখানে কইতাম চাই না যে বিজনেস তো আমরা বন্ধ হইলে কি তৈব এটলিস্ট তার জীবন তো আরম্ভ উইচ ইজ আই এম হ্যাপি ফর দিস। আর আমি আমার কমিউনিটির মানুষের ধন্যবাদ জানাই ওখানে যেন তত ফ্যামিলি তো বিয়া শাদি or people are really alert সো তখনও ওর যারা গেস্ট টুস্ট আইরা অ্যালার্ট খবর পাইলাম অন্যান্য ওখানে বেশি মেসর টেসর সফর আমি এক্সপিরিয়েন্স করছি যারা ফ্যামিলির লগে অলওয়াইজ দে আর নাইস অ্যান্ড কেয়ারফুল
আপনারা দুজনের এনকারেজমেন্ট কিতা আপনার কমিউনিটির যে যে কিছু খোয়ার যেমন হাউ টু মানে অবভিয়াসলি এভরিবডি হ্যাজ লাইটস দ্য আইডিয়া অফ হোয়াট ডু ইন দেয়ার বিজনেস ফ্যামিলি লাইফ আমরা ওইলাম কি ওয়ান অফ দ্য হাই রিস্ক অ্যাজ বাংলাদেশি for the COVID-19 high risk affected. আপনারা suggestion to the community খিলা I mean কইতা পারেন
তখন যা কইছি এটা তো ফাস্ট কইছি ফিউচারও লাগি ওখান চেষ্টা কথা কইছি আমি ওটার আনসার আগে দিলাই বাংলাদেশি হাই রিস্ক which is wrong বাংলাদেশ সব বালা মানুষ হাই রিস্ক এটা লাগি when you said high risk that mean they are weak এরা ইমিউন সিস্টেম উইক দিস এন্ড দ্যাট ইজ নট আপনি দেখো আমার ক্লোজ ফ্রেন্ড ডক্টর মাহমুদ চৌধুরী সাহেব যে মারা গেছে ফয়সল চৌধুরী কিন্তু হয়েছে করোনা যেগুলা মানে বালা এলে ডিক্লেয়ার হওয়ার আগে বিছাড়ার করোনা হয়ে গেছে হয়েছে কিন্তু আমরা বাংলাদেশি মানুষ আমরা আবেগে মরি আমরা অলওয়াইজ সামনে আইছি এরারে চালাকিতে করিয়া ও টেকনিক্যালি এরারে আগে সামনে ফেলানি হয়ে গেছে দে হ্যাভ নো চয়েস তারারে দে বিকাম ভিকটিম অফ দ্য করোনা দে ডাইড আর এমনি খালি খোয়ার জন্য বাংলাদেশি মানুষ হাই রিস্ক ওয়াই হাই রিস্ক দ্য সিস্টেম পুট দেম ইন রিস্ক দ্যাটস ওয়াই দে বিকাম এ ভিকটিম অফ দ্য হাই রিস্ক
ওকে আমি আচ্ছা সেলিম ভাই যেটা কইছেন ওকে দ্যাটস ইয়োর ভিউ আমার দৃষ্টিতে হাই রিস্ক মানি না যে আমরা ইমিউন সিস্টেম লো বাট দের আর সার্টেন থিংস দ্যাট উই হ্যাভ টু আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড আমরা কমিউনিটি আমি ও কথাটা আসলাম আগে আমরা কমিউনিটি একটা এটা কিন্তু আমরা প্রাইড কিন্তু বর্তমান সিচুয়েশনের লাগি ডাউনফল হয়ে গেছে উইকনেস করে লিছে কইবা কিলা আমরা দেখো বেশিরভাগ দাদা দাদি নানা নানি বৃদ্ধ মানুষ সকলতরে লইয়া এক ফ্যামিলি আমরা থাকি এটা আমরা পূর্বপুরুষে কইরা গেছেন এটা যারা করেন এরা গর্বিত ফিল গর্বিত সাধারণত কিন্তু সকল ফ্যামিলি ওইসে কিতা এখন দেখো আমরা ইয়ং জেনারেশন এগেইন যাইরাম নট অল প্লিজ উইথ অল ডিউ রেসপেক্ট কিছু কিছু ইয়ং জেনারেশনে আমরা মাইনা নেরা না গাইডলাইন মাইনা নেরা না মনে করিল আমার ছেলেও একটা কথা দেখাইলাম টাইম মানলা না টাইম গেলা বাড়া আউটও গিয়া হইলা টাইম ইয়ং কিছু অবজার্ভ করতে পারেন কিন্তু টাইম যে সময় গড় আইবা তানের দাদা দাদি দুন তাকইন এরারে পাস করতে ভেরি ইজি তখন হেরার ওই যে নাইলা সেলিম ভাইয়ের যে কথা কইলা এল্ডারলি প্রেগনেন্ট and the young ones are vulnerable
of course
regardless of gender creep sex whatever এটার কোনো ব্যাপার নাই কিন্তু এরা vulnerable এরারে পাস করিলা এরা তো আমার রিকোয়েস্ট এবং সাজেশন থাকবো যারা ফ্যামিলির এল্ডারলি এবং ইয়ং জেনারেশন থাকুন ইয়ং জেনারেশনরা একটু সতর্কতা হোকা আপনারা আপনার লাগি করেন না কিন্তু আপনারা মা বাবার লাগি করোকা আপনারা দাদা দাদির লাগি করোকা না 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 লাগি
থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ ফর দ্যাট তোহাজুল ভাই আচ্ছা আমরা যে হেল্প আউট ইট আউট দ্য গভর্নমেন্ট হ্যাজ ডান এ ফ্যান্টাস্টিক জব
fantastic
মাইন্ড ইউ আমি আপনারা দুজনের তো টু ডিফারেন্ট বিজনেসেস ইন টু ডিফারেন্ট থিংই বাট আপনারা একটা কমিউনিটির ফেস আপনারা have people has the আপনারা যে একটা অ্যাডভাইস দিতে পারবা you're meeting the community you're meeting so on going ahead the eat out help out not to deny what the government has done for businesses is great but আমি যদি দেখি last Saturdays the last weekend of the 6 people the 6 number or the enforcements that are the West End was packed okay yes. The West End was packed itai যে আমরা যে বর্তমানের যে spike of 3,500 4,000 and it's going up and up in the last 3 days yeah. Has that amplified has that caused a little bit more in terms of not as a businessman as a community leader as a person as a father well, what would you say has that really
there is no such report but look if you think commonly just just generally if you think all I can say it hasn't reduced it cannot reduce it because people were going in numbers I'm talking about disgusting numbers you had restaurants with snake line outside queuing they were like
all around the building
and I don't know how they manage, but what I can talk about is my restaurant. We never had that. I followed strict guideline. On the entrance, we have hand sanitization. Every customer enters in my restaurant has a track and trace. Every restaurant enters my restaurant has to go through a temperature check. And every table I have in my restaurant is 1 meter plus. Now, I had to, like you said, it has been a great incentive to the public, and it's been a great help for the restaurateurs during month of August. I mean, we cannot thank enough the government or Rishi Sunak's the deal he's given, eat out to help out. However, if everybody needs to play a part, this is what I'm coming at. But there is a good chance, like you said, what you're trying to say is, did this eat out to help out, people going in numbers, has increased the chances of the COVID spreading? I would say yes. I cannot say no. But nobody has, to date, has picked this up, and there is no evidence. So, your guess is as good as mine.
Salim bhai, I mean, my hometown, a pub there, the local authority at 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, they had to intervene because of the numbers of people. Okay, what do you think, has that increased? Could that have been avoided? Has it put us in a lot more? Yes, the catering business, especially restaurants and takeaway restaurants, have done well, but in terms of the COVID-19 virus, has that, for the long term, has it worsened?
Listen, our chancellor thought about us, all the businesses, and he did a wonderful job. The idea was, which I think, the idea was with that offer, the fearing people say, boy, he thought if I give a discount price deal, then people will go out. People will have they will get rid of their fear and they will come out. But what happened? That didn't work as they planned. It just, people did it too much. People abused the system, I will say. But places outside London, as great businessman Tafujul Bhai said, he maintained everything in his restaurant. I will say many restaurants outside. I have a restaurant in Oxford, so we did the same thing.
Exactly.
But London, little bit different. But then again, if you see the pubs outside, they didn't maintain.
Yeah.
They had long queue, everybody came in and everything. That didn't help for the COVID difficulty. But government tried to help people, but it didn't work. It made another mistake. Too many people come out now that Corona gone more onto the people, passed onto the people.
I have to say, first week was good, not a problem. But since it went on and on,
do you think, because
from what happened, people didn't get affected straight away. Slowly they start getting it. That's one thing. I won't blame only because of the eat out to help out. People out. People automatically would have come out anyway. It's been too long.
Do you think that help out to eat out, it put everybody's thinking the back seat, so relaxed to you? So have they sort of numb their sort of thinking and say COVID is gone away?
That is right. That is right. You know why people gone relax? So Fujul Bhai, what I seen in my business, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because of the deal, we had fully booked. Yeah. But then again, Friday, Saturday, I had fully booking as well.
Yeah.
But then you can't. Then you. That's what you just said. People become more relaxed. People go, okay, if everybody's going out, then it should be all right. That's why more people are coming out.
Well, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing, in my opinion. But we have to maintain the guideline. আপনারা এখন দুন বাড়া যায়, প্লিজ ফেস মাস্ক লইয়া যান, জানো স্যানিটাইজ ইউজ করুন, জানো গরো হওয়ার বাদে হাত ধুইবা, এগুলা সাধারণ জিনিসে আমরা হয়তো চোখে দেখতাম না, বাট ইট মেক্স দ্য ডিফারেন্স। ইট মেক্স সেভ ও কিল, অনেস্টলি। কারণ ভাইরাস যদি না হাত লইয়া কিন্তু দই লাইন দুন, দ্য চান্সেস আর ইউ আর গোয়িং টু গেট রিড অফ ইট ফ্রম স্প্রেডিং at least. So এগুলা দুন আমরা মেনটেন করি না কি, বিশেষ করে আমরা কমিউনিটির ভাই বোনরা যারা আপনারা শ্রোতা আছেন আইওন টিভির, আমার অনুরোধ হইল গিয়া কিছু গাইডলাইনে একেবারে গুরুত্ব দেও আমরা সবে মিলিয়া, আর এই জিনিসটার আমরা উই অল সবে দুন একটা পাঠ খেলাইয়া কি এই COVID-19 এর লাগি করোনা ভাইরাসের লাগি it's not impossible to get rid of it. This is what I say
on
to
top of the advice.
Exactly.
Reminding our community.
আমি দুই মত না এখানে সরকারে অনেক সময় গাইডলাইন দেয় বাট 10 পেজ 20 পেজ মানে difficult
and it has been confusing in the past.
It's not easy.
It has been confusing. We are going to go on a short break in a little while, but I will come back in terms of when the going back to school closures. I will talk after that after the break. But it has been confusing. The advice and the government advises. Some of them are
they're telling now 6 people, no more than 6 people of group. Now they open the schools, so the 30 children sitting in the classroom. How does this work?
And it could be from 30 households. But then again, they are adhering the guideline.
Saying,
You know, the one-way system, the temperature check. They don't take the shoes, I hear as well, in the classroom, and they, you know, all these are in place.
But you would in terms of going the confusing guideline that is being passed on from the number 6, from the other ones that we had in the past month. It has been little confusing for the general public to understand.
It is a bit confusing.
Well, general public has been also on confusing, like us business people who's running restaurant or other businesses. However, you have to take this serious. You have to spare the time to read and go through and follow the guidelines.
Yes, of course.
Not in every business this 30-page or 10-page will apply. But you'll have to pick up those things which will apply to your individual business.
And businessmen
for example,
like yourself.
What Shalimba is, he's catering for most probably thousands, hundreds in the future. You are allowed, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you can maintain the social distancing,
no,
you still
they say
30,
if it's a wedding, you have to do it 30.
30. Oh my God.
Even some restaurants do
Why
it.
do it in the Vinny? You can do it in a small restaurant.
Bring it to Vajal Bai's restaurant.
Yeah. Actually, I have
his restaurant, our people cannot afford it. His restaurant is a bit upmarket.
Please don't say that.
I respect his
I
style
think
of
everybody
business.
everybody can afford it. Please come to my restaurant. Thank you very much.
So really, I mean, Amra as people like yourself, community leader, whole community face, a whole Amara encouragement, the business, after the clientele, you need to push it a little bit more. Is that something you guys are doing? Is that something you guys are encouraging?
Because
you see in 200 people.
Absolutely. Look, at the end of the day, we all have to play a part. আমি সব সময় এটা কইয়া থাকি আমার কাস্টমারের লগে যে সময় গবেষণা হয় আলাপ আলোচনা হয়, you know, and they agree. If we all play a part from our community or non-community or wider community, we have to play our part. The guideline এখন যে কোনো দোকানে যাইতে হইলে আপনার ফেস মাস্ক, বাড়াইয়া আইলে বা শপিং গড় আইলে আপনি হাত দুইটা, এগুলা again I'm going to say makes the difference. Particularly আমরা যদি বয়সাল মানুষের লগে আমরা থাকি, then it gives us more reason to do that because they are the vulnerable. They could be the victim of your action and my action.
Another important thing, Salim bhai, so when you arrive to the studio, the At Milanita, right? We shake our elbows now.
Yeah.
It really needs to be promoted within our community, our community.
That's a good point.
বাঙালি মানুষ আবেগের মানুষ সবে আত ফাতাইলাই
জি
it's not necessary
so at fatanita coin fatao kon kubicheni that is always because that is the safest option.
আত ফাতানি আর কইন ফাতানি আমি আমার ভিউয়ার হলরে ওখান রিকোয়েস্ট করমু যে যার লগে দরকার নাই don't bother to see them.
Salim bhai,
try to limitize your going outside and going meeting people. If you don't need it, try to avoid it. It's better. But binder shopala rakha lagbo, this illness is there. It's not going to go. So we have to learn to live with it. How can we live with it? If we follow the guideline of government gave, you know, NHS gave us, if we follow this, what Tafujul Bhai said, wear the mask, wash your hand, you know, much as you can. Our business like the guideline the voice say, just don't think it's a piece of paper. No. Read everything and list what you need to follow.
Salim bhai, I'm going to stop you and interrupt, gentlemen. We need to go on a commercial break. Viewers, we are going on a short break. Do stay with us. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
21 শতাব্দীর অত্যাধুনিক প্রিন্টিং মেশিন দিয়ে প্রিন্টুডের যাত্রা শুরু। সকল ধরনের প্রিন্টিং সুবিধা দিয়ে একমাত্র আমরাই দিচ্ছি ইউভি টেকনোলজির বিজনেস কার্ডস, ওয়েডিং কার্ডস, বার্থডে কার্ডস, ইনভাইটেশন কার্ডস। আরও থাকছে লিফলেট, পোস্টার ইন মেনু সহ ঘর বা রেস্টুরেন্টের ইন্টেরিয়র করার জন্য আমরা ওয়ালপেপার ডিজাইন করে থাকি। প্রিন্টুডে মানেই অনুভূতির ছোঁয়া। প্রিন্টুডে 107 রেলওয়ে আর্চেস, টানব্রিজ স্ট্রিট, লন্ডন, E2 6JG। Print today. তিলোত্তমা ঢাকা নগরীর অলিতে গলিতে ছড়িয়ে আছে নানা রূপ, রং আর শত বছরের ঐতিহ্য। আর সেই পুরনো ঢাকার ঐতিহ্যবাহী খাবারের স্বাদ নিয়ে ম্যানর পার্কের নান্না বিরিয়ানি। ইউরোপের মাটিতে একমাত্র আমরাই দিচ্ছি অথেন্টিক পুরনো ঢাকার কাচ্চি বিরিয়ানি, খিচুড়ি, নেহারি, চটপটি সহ আরও অনেক ঢাকাই খাবার। পুরনো ঢাকার স্বাদ নিতে আজই চলে আসুন ম্যানর পার্কের নান্না বিরিয়ানিতে। লন্ডনে আমাদের আর কোনো শাখা নেই। নান্না বিরিয়ানি।
ক্রয়, বিক্রয় বা বাসা ভাড়ার কথা ভাবছেন? লিভ প্রপার্টি আপনাদের পাশেই আছে। আমরা রেন্ট, বাই অ্যান্ড সেল স্পেশালিস্ট। আপনার পছন্দের হাউস, ফ্ল্যাট কিংবা অ্যাপার্টমেন্ট খুঁজে পেতে আমাদের সাথে যোগাযোগ করুন। আমরা আপনার পছন্দ ও বাজেট অনুযায়ী প্রপার্টি খুঁজে বের করব। বিস্তারিত জানতে ভিজিট করুন www.livingproperties.co.uk। ফোন 0207 247 0220।
Good evening and welcome back to iON Business. Every week we'll try and bring you our very well-known faces of the community leaders, the businessmen and women of the community with business issues, business topic. If you have any question for any of our panel today or in any other shows, please do call into the number below and ask them the question. We will circulate who our panel guests are every week. You can find that out on our Facebook page. Today we have Tufajjal Mir on my right, who is representing the BBCA. He's the General Secretary of the BBCA. And then we have Salim Bhai, from the CEO of Pride of Asia. These two gentlemen are a well-known face of our community. They are community activists, they're businessmen. So I have a few questions who I would like them to clarify and explain to our community, to the viewers. If you do have any questions, please call in the numbers. Salim Bhai, the question to you, both of you gentlemen, the furlough scheme comes in to an end at the end of October. We have our neighbors, Germany, France, continue until 2021. How would that affect businesses in whole and businesses in our community, our Bangladeshi community, the restaurant, the caterers, the shops, the supermarkets? What implication could that come by the end of October that you see? Salim Bhai, what's your opinion and what do you think?
Well, I will thank our government. Because of our furlough, people not facing the difficulty yet. Because of the furlough, everyone getting their money, they can survive. They are surviving normal life. Soon as it's going to stop in October, we will be in real trouble. So therefore, as our neighboring country doing it, I will say government should help us, should help those people, everyone who's not working. And those businesses, basically, they don't have anything to do. If they don't run the business, how can they going to pay their staff? So with government help, they have to pay. If they stop furlough, we will be in difficult situation. People won't be having to have a food on their plate.
So we will be having a lot more unemployment as it is for the
unemployment is already there.
What in the terms of
support of the furlough, people are artificially employed.
Salim Bhai, Amir Bhai, I think the real test will be there. When the furlough stops, that's when the real test how many people will be really unemployed, will be laid off, and how many people will lose their job. That means no pay coming in. How do you pay your mortgage? How do you support your family? And it might have a detrimental effect. And there's no doubt a number, I don't know how big number it will be. There will be job losses across the UK, whether you say
all sectors
Scotland,
of the businesses.
Dockland to Scotland, everywhere. And the real test will be then. Now, the government, so far, for me, what I've seen, they've given good support across the board, particularly to the caterers. You know, I have to say that, because they've given us the bounce back loan, they've given us the grant, they've given us 1 year's free rate and all that. But to the public, they've given the £10 to eat out, to help out. They've given the furlough, which is fantastic. But they have to really seriously think whether to stop in October or keep going until maybe next year. My suggestion is, the government has to do their homework right. And if they get this wrong, we can all be in trouble, because it has a trickle effect. If somebody loses their job, they're out of money. They're not going to come to your business supporting
they're
you
not spending.
or me.
It's a domino effect.
It's a domino effect. And everything can all of a sudden find in a brick wall.
Just crashed.
Yes, yes. So I'm sure the government will be serious about it, rethink about it, and hopefully they will make the right decision.
Do you think the German can do a U-turn on certain other things that they have done in the last 4 months?
I think there is no reason why they shouldn't. If they've got the evidence that we will be really facing a tough time. There is no doubt. You know, like Salim Bhai said, unemployed is there now. But it's the numbers game now.
Numbers game, yes.
When
because
October
artificially
furlough stops, then the real numbers will hit. If I'm employing 10 people, I've lost 1/3 of my sitting. I'm not going to employ
10 anymore.
2 from the front of the house and 2 from the back of the house.
That's why
now I'm keeping
1/3 off.
Yeah, although September, August, I brought everyone in, but in September, October going now with the 6 maximum. And because in November, December, we rely on big parties, office parties, and Christmas parties.
Which is going to be different.
I will have to evaluate.
I don't see this is going to happen.
Yeah, I have to evaluate.
You know, all our Christmas parties, who's going to do it? The offices, those businesses, they are not there.
That's
the business are not there.
No
parties are not there.
But that's in London. Again, in outer London as well, there is, you know, because after October, they have to have the working force going back to work. Otherwise, they don't get paid.
Yeah, but
do you
I
understand?
think if this second wave come, how are they going to go back to work?
Well, look, let's hope it doesn't. Let's hope it doesn't.
I mean,
hence they're taking.
I mean, it doesn't happen. But if we was to go to a national lockdown,
oh my God,
you know. If France carries on the way that it's going, the numbers that it's going, if UK carries on behind them, we're not really much behind what France numbers are. We're probably 3 weeks behind France.
Well, so, you know, our Prime Minister said in a few speeches, you know, he is going to go in, and when they smell danger, they will take quick action, sharp action. And that's what we want, actually. For me, I believe in that, really. Because if you don't take sharp action, quick action, then we can go back to March. And that would be a disaster.
Action, Tawajjal Bhai. The 6 numbers.
I'm not here to defend the government.
No, I'm just trying to elaborate on what you're saying. But what I'm saying, that number of 6 could have come in the day that was announced. We didn't need to wait for Monday and Tuesday. I mean, that's the quick action. I mean, what do you say to that? That could have done 4 days, 5 days prior, and we've had a good weather. We've had the good weather. This has pushed more people to go out more. Oh, it's the last weekend. Let me see all my friends from 10 households. But that could have been shortened 4 or 5 days or whenever it was announced.
But going forward, Salim Bhai, Amir Bhai, you know, cold weather is more danger.
More danger.
We know for a fact, every winter, thousands of people die on flu. Now this COVID-19 coronavirus is going to have a detrimental effect. If we are not serious, if we don't follow the guideline, if we don't take care of ourselves, if we don't take care of each other, we have to, that's hence I was saying earlier, we have to be serious. We have to take care of each other. We have to maintain the guideline, whether you're running a restaurant or you're an individual household. If we all don't play our part, we are risking our lives. And what is more important than our lives? Now, alhamdulillah, I have to add something else as well. Our mosque and madrasas and the religious places have done extremely well.
Extremely well.
There has not been a single bad news so far. And I'm a part of Barnet Islamic Center, which is based in Barnet. And we are adhering everything to the T's. Maximum 30 people, 2-meter social distancing, taking their temperature, making sure they hand sanitize before they enter even
a
at
lot
Jummah.
of our religious places, we have this radio system to every individual home.
Yes.
Do you think as a local mosque they need to do a little bit more information and tell the people who are joined within
I think every mosque are doing it.
Yes.
Fortunately, I live very close to East London Mosque. Therefore, I'm getting updated every day because they are
Most of the people are, you have to book in online as well. There are certain mosques are allowing not to just turn up and enter. You have to book online, pre-book yourself, and so then you'll be able to...
You're doing the registration as in such, so they can trace it back.
With the QR code system you enter.
A lot of mosques are doing wonderful job.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant job. I have to, commend all the mosque communities and leaders and trustees are doing a fantastic job. I think they've done a brilliant job, and hats off to them. And this is very important. We know how vulnerable we are when it comes to picking the religion. If one wrong move and one wrong news comes, and negative news comes, what's going to happen? They'll say lockdown, lockdown mosques, lockdown this, lockdown that. And you can't blame them. You can't blame them because it is a serious matter. And alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, all the mosques are adhering the regulation and maintaining, and nothing negative so far has come up.
That is what we want, and that is why we want everybody to understand, the community to understand.
That's right.
The public of the UK to understand in whole. Going back to business terms, you both are great businessmen in the community. What advice or what suggestion would you give to a new startup business? So you've got someone who would like to come into the businesses that you are. What complication could they face? Do you think this is the wrong time? Some people say this is the right time to get a right deal? Or
I don't think this advice is needed now. I don't think anyone brave enough to come in this business we are in now.
But you're right. But there is a saying: one man's fall,
another man's
another man's opportunity.
Okay.
Doing your homework is very important. Young generation coming into the business, it's an opportunity as well, because you just don't go and simply open. It takes planning. It takes 1 year, 2 years, depending on the size and the mindset you have, how big a thinking you're doing. So it could be an opportunity for young generations as well, in my opinion. Because
I respect that, young generation, because in business, I don't know about Tafajul Bhai, I think I'm really old in business. It's been too long. The young generation, their thinking is fantastic. Some young generation come to me to start a business. They ask for advice. The idea they have is wonderful.
So
they're already planning, brother. Next 2 years you will be this.
Again, there is both sides of the stories. Yes, you can. There's opportunities if you're doing it right. Yes, there are business who are restaurants, especially restaurant in our catering industry, are closing.
But something else opening.
So that's what my thing is. So someone's fall is someone's gain. That's what I want to know.
One man's fall is another man's opportunity. What advice I would say, if any young man or any individual wants to come in, do your homework. Have a role model. Don't take some advice. But 2 things I want to say to our restaurateurs, and I've been, sorry, excuse my language, banging on for the last 5-6 years. We need to shorten our menu. We need to use technology, not only in the front of the house, back of the house. is very importantly to work smarter, not harder. And this is the young generation.
And that's how you make money.
Yeah.
Our
Those
people-
days, working hard, slugging your heart and mind off, and your body off, days are gone. You need to think smarter, work less harder. Or work smarter, not harder.
Tawajjal Bhai, you are the Secretary General of BBCA.
Yeah.
You have a lot of our members.
Absolutely.
You're the umbrella of a big chunk of our community. In terms of the last since the lockdown, Afnara, who advised the Soin to go back? We had a lot of restaurants, town I'm from, I think 3 restaurant has closed in the first month or so. After a member, I'm sure you have members of all across the country. After a survival point, the government is giving everybody 10,000 as a grant, 10,000 pounds and 25,000 pounds. But that's not enough money for a business.
No, that goes
so
fast.
For you to be self-employed and employing 10 people, you've got your staff as furlough. But what are you getting as a businessman, as the business? You're not paying the rate, but everything else is still. If you're on a leasehold property, your rent is still there. Your rent is not there.
But even if it's your own, you have to pay the bank.
Yeah,
of course. So
the fixed costs are there. Your rent, your accountant's fee, your standing orders, like
the food cost is gone sky high.
And everything. During the lockdown, there was no choice. But there is not only bad news. I have to say that, Salim Bhai. Our small takeaways during the lockdown, alhamdulillah, they done amazing.
Yes.
So not all bad news.
They
were
were
good
part
news
of the
as
key
well.
workers,
Yeah,
providing
exactly.
food to.
They were definitely the key workers, in my opinion. They risked their life. They traveled with public transport. At that time, nobody was going. But they did. They were our heroes, whether it's front of the house, in a takeaway, or at the back of the house. I always commend them for their bravery and serving the community. Now, serving food is keeping people alive as well. We're providing a service, of course, for our entrepreneurship. However, at a time like that, our members, BBCA's members,
who come home after
BBCA's members and other people in the wider community, wider businesses, they went there and brave enough to open. Some people opened 1 week and they closed. They weren't brave enough. Then they were so scared. Yeah. And quite rightly so, because the news every single minute and second, whether it's Sky or BBC or even iON, was all about COVID-19. Yeah, and it was the right thing to do. It's not a wrong thing to do, believe me, because if we didn't stay in lockdown, I don't know where we would have ended up.
No, it was.
So it's the right thing to do. Right. What we've done, we have provided all the information and the guideline on our Facebook, Instagram, our website. If you go to the BBCA in Facebook, you will see we've taken interviews. We've lobbied for the VAT. Our president Salim Chowdhury, he wrote a letter on the first day of lockdown. This has to be adhered. Alhamdulillah, until January, our VAT for food only is 5%, which is helping our members and wider business as well. But I would personally prefer, instead of a short-term 5%, even if they did 10% for long-term, it would have benefited our industry. Because 20% VAT takes a big chunk.
VAT has cut by 15%.
Yeah.
Which as a business
for food only.
The food only. Obviously the help out to eat out was there.
Yeah.
But from the VAT, has that been passed on to the customers, or should it have been passed on?
Well, our
comment has come.
Our restaurant business is VAT. We don't separate. We always include it with the price, so it doesn't get passed on to the customer on the paper. But technically, it is. If you're charging somebody including, so that means they are paying your full price. So your VAT is there.
No government personnel came and said, we are reducing the VAT, you have to pass it to the customer. Did they? No. Now, I think, this is my own personal view, the government realized losing 1/3 of the sitting. If you want to adhere the guideline, there is no question some people are losing more, half even. I know it, some of our members, because depending on the size and shape of your restaurants, you see, and the floor space. So the government realized these people won't survive by paying 20% VAT. So they came in to help us. That's what my belief is. Yes, it's helping us to pay our bills, pay our wages, keep the people employed, and keep going, battling along. Even my restaurant is busy, but cash in the till is not going to be the same because I'm down by 1/3 of the sitting. Yeah. Does it make sense?
We're talking about floor space where Salim Bhai has a capacity to sit
1,000 people.
1,000, 1,500, 2,000 people. But he can't, he's not allowed to
only
get
allow me to put
membership.
30 people in there.
Where businesses like yourself, who,
I know. We want more space.
you want more space, you can get more people.
It's a catch-22. It's not, it's a struggle.
Restaurant need more space. I've got more space, but I can't utilize it.
You're not allowed to.
So if they would have said like, okay, you got 1,000 space, put 500 people there, but we can't. They put a restriction to our business. It's 30 people have kept finished.
It's a wider board, so this is what it is. You can't have certain because you have the capacity or you don't have. Should it have been a local sort of government? You have 500, 1,000 people's capacity. You can have so on, and you can have so on.
I think it will be eventually passed to the local government. Like for example,
local government have no decision about anything like that.
For example, currently Birmingham lockdown. It's done by the local government as well as the national government, central government.
That's right. Yeah.
Because these things has to be trickled. Don't forget, Amir Bhai, we have been in unprecedented time. This COVID-19, nobody if you'd had given a script writer of Hollywood to write a story like this, he wouldn't even think about it. This is the reality.
This is reality.
But however, the government need to take more decisive action, more clear instruction. I can't deny that. But saying that, my job is to make the most out of all the information I have. And if I don't do it, I can't expect Amir Bhai to do it for me. I can't expect Salim Bhai to do it yourself. I have to be responsible as a business personnel to think about my bread and butter, how to get my customers through the door, whether by adhering following the guideline and doing your research and doing something different. I personally kept the eat out to help out going forward as well. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because my spend is about 40, 50 pound, 45 pound. So if I give them 10 pound, I lose 25 pound. And I don't mind doing that, getting bums on the seat on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'd spend that to do that. So it's not for all, but you have to find your way to get around it. It's not impossible. It's hard work, but you have to be on the ball.
Gentlemen, we are coming to the end of the program.
No.
First of all, I understand it's not long enough. We'd hopefully be able to do it in 1.5 hours' time. Longer for another half an hour, so that producers are thinking about doing that. Yeah. So I would like to thank you, Tafadjal Bhai, Secretary General, BBCA, my Salim Bhai, Pride of Asia, CEO Pride of Asia.
Thank you for inviting us.
The face of the community.
Gave us the opportunity to
please, within your business, keep us, the community, the customers, safe. Encourage them to do more. You are seeing hundreds of people a day. You are prime sort of
contact
to let mass people know, the community, whether you are in the Bangladeshi community or whether you are in another community. Please do encourage it, and our community. Salim Bhai, he works a lot with our community. Please encourage our community, and we will try to hold, people like yourself.
Well, main information is, Tafadjal Bhai mentioned many times, keep yourself safe, keep yourself alert. And keeping yourself alert, keeping many other people safe.
Absolutely.
That's what I will say.
So I will try and invite people like yourself to hold them responsibility. let the community know. Thank you very much for coming in. Viewers, I hope you've enjoyed the program. If you please have any question on our next program, we are here live every Sunday at 10 o'clock. We're on iON Business. Stay over until next time. Look after yourself and each other. Assalamu alaikum.